Imagine waking up in a beautiful home, surrounded by the markers of success, a thriving career, a circle of acquaintances, perhaps even a loving family. From the outside, everything looks perfect, but deep inside, there's an ache, a quiet emptiness that whispers, "Why do I feel so alone?" This is the hidden loneliness that plagues so many people today, even when life seems flawless. It's not about being physically isolated. It's an emotional void that no amount of achievements can fill. In this video, we'll explore the psychology behind this paradox, uncovering why it happens and what it reveals about our human need for true connection. If you're feeling this right now, or if you've ever wondered about it, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It helps spread these insights to others who might need them. And if you subscribe, you'll get more videos like this, diving into the deeper sides of our minds. Oh, and drop a comment below. Have you ever felt lonely despite having it all? Sharing that could help someone else feel less alone. Let's dive in.
Let's begin by looking at the very foundation of this kind of loneliness, the illusion that a perfect-looking life should protect us from feeling alone. We grow up hearing the same story again and again. Work hard, achieve success, build a beautiful life, and happiness will follow. Society rewards visible markers, the big house, the impressive job title, the curated photos, the busy social calendar. And when we reach those markers, we expect the inner world to feel full. But very often, it doesn't. Instead, people start noticing a strange contradiction. They have everything they were told would make them happy, and yet there's still this quiet ache. They look around at parties, at family dinners, at group chats full of notifications, and think, everyone is here, so why do I feel so far away? This is what psychologists sometimes call achievement isolation or success loneliness. It happens when external success grows faster than our capacity for real, unguarded human connection. Let me tell you about Sarah. She's in her mid-40s, runs a department in a large company, owns a lovely apartment in a good neighborhood, travels twice a year, has people who admire her. If you saw her LinkedIn or Instagram, you'd think she's got it all together. But almost every evening after the laptop closes, she sits on her couch with a glass of wine and feels nothing. Not sadness exactly, just a heavy, wordless emptiness. She tells her therapist, "I don't understand. I did everything right. Why does it still feel like something is missing?" The answer isn't that she failed. The answer is that success, the way most of us chase it, often quietly trains us to hide the parts of ourselves that actually create closeness. When you spend years presenting only your strongest, most competent version in meetings, in networking events, even in casual conversations, vulnerability starts to feel dangerous. You learn to edit yourself. You learn to smile when you're tired, to say, "I'm good, thanks," when someone asks how you are, to keep difficult feelings private so you don't burden anyone. Over time, that editing becomes automatic. And the tragedy is, the very habits that helped you succeed in the outer world, discipline, self-reliance, control, are the same habits that slowly starve the inner world of connection. John had a similar story. In his 20s and 30s, he was the guy everyone wanted to be around. Charismatic, ambitious, always had a plan. He built a business from scratch, married a wonderful woman, had 2 healthy kids, bought the house with the big garden. By 45, he had made it. But one day, he looked at his wife across the kitchen table and realized he hadn't told her, really told her, how scared he sometimes felt about the future of the company.
He hadn't cried in front of her in over a decade. He hadn't asked his best friend how he was doing in years, not genuinely. He said to me once, "I thought success would make me feel safe enough to open up. Instead, it made opening up feel unnecessary, and then impossible." This is the first cruel irony. The more competent and self-sufficient you appear, the less space other people feel they have to offer you care. People assume you don't need it, and slowly, without anyone meaning to, you become emotionally unreachable, even to the people who love you most. None of this means you're broken or that your achievements are fake. It just means that belonging and success are built on very different emotional muscles. Belonging requires softness, uncertainty, the willingness to be seen in an unfinished state. Success, at least the way the world currently defines it, often rewards the opposite: certainty, polish, control. When those two things pull in different directions for long enough, loneliness becomes the quiet result. Not dramatic loneliness, not "I have no one," but the much subtler, much heavier kind. I have people, but no one really knows me. And that sentence, "no one really knows me," is one of the most painful truths a human being can carry in silence. Because deep down, we're wired for being known. Not just liked, not just admired, not just useful, known. Attachment research shows us over and over again, secure emotional bonds are built on mutual vulnerability and responsive presence. When one or both of those ingredients are missing for years, even the warmest-looking relationships start to feel like polite performances. You might notice it in small moments, laughing at a joke at a dinner table but feeling untouched inside, receiving compliments about your work but craving someone to ask how you're really holding up, lying in bed next to your partner and realizing you haven't shared a fear or a dream in months. These aren't huge betrayals, they're tiny erosions. But tiny erosions repeated daily for 10 or 15 years carve very deep canyons. So, the first layer of why some people feel lonely even when life looks perfect is this: success can quietly teach us to hide the very parts of ourselves that other people need to see in order to truly connect with us. It replaces depth with polish. It replaces presence with performance. And once that trade has been made long enough, even a crowded life can feel strangely solitary. That's where this kind of loneliness usually begins, but it doesn't end there. Because once those surface-level connections become the norm, the next layer appears: emotional disconnection, even inside our closest relationships. We'll look at that in the next part.
Now let's move closer into the relationships themselves. Because the strangest and most painful part of this loneliness is that it often lives right inside the people who are supposed to be closest to us. Family, partner, best friends from years ago, children. They're there, physically present, sometimes emotionally available in small ways, and still, the loneliness doesn't leave. This is emotional disconnection in intimate bonds, when the structure of the relationship is solid, but the emotional current has grown weak or stopped flowing altogether. It's one of the quietest forms of grief a person can carry, mourning a closeness that once existed or that you always hoped would exist, while the other person is still sitting in the same room. Let's look at Alex and Maya. Married 17 years, 2 teenage kids, nice house, weekend routines. They still hold hands sometimes in public. People call them goals. But Alex has started sleeping on the edge of the bed, not because they fight. They rarely fight anymore. They just don't talk the way they used to. Conversations have become mostly functional. Did you pay the electricity bill? What time is the parent-teacher meeting? We need milk. When one of them tries to go deeper, I've been feeling really anxious about work lately. The other responds with something kind but shallow. It'll be okay, you always figure it out. And that's it. No follow-up question,
No "tell me more," no sitting together in the discomfort. Alex doesn't blame Maya. He knows she's tired too. He knows life is full. But inside he thinks, if I disappeared tomorrow, would anyone actually notice the version of me that's hurting? This pattern is so common that therapists have names for it: emotional drift, companionate marriage turning into parallel lives, or in more extreme cases, living with an emotional stranger who shares your address. Some attachment theory helps explain why this hurts so deeply. From infancy, we are wired to seek a secure base, someone who sees our needs, responds to our signals, and helps regulate our emotions. When that base is inconsistent or withdrawn over many years, the nervous system registers it as a kind of ongoing low-level threat. Not dramatic danger, just a persistent background sense that I am not fully safe here with my feelings. And when that sense settles in a primary relationship, loneliness becomes chronic, even when you're never actually alone. Lisa's story is different but follows the same emotional mathematics. She's a full-time mother of 3 young children. Her husband works long hours and is a good provider. He helps with bedtime when he's home. He tells her he loves her. But Lisa feels invisible. She spends her days managing everyone else's emotions, tantrums, homework stress, friendship dramas, while her own inner world stays locked away. She tried once to tell her husband she felt overwhelmed and a bit depressed. He listened for a minute, then said, "You're doing amazing. We're lucky to have you. Maybe just get more sleep."
It wasn't cruel, it was just inadequate. And after a few attempts like that, she stopped trying. Now she carries the loneliness of being the emotional container for the whole family without anyone containing her. Psychologists call this caregiver loneliness or invisible labor loneliness. It's especially common among women, but men experience versions of it too. The provider who can't admit he's struggling because the family needs me strong. If any of this feels familiar, please hear this. It does not mean your relationship is doomed. It means the emotional channel has narrowed. And narrow channels can be widened again, but only when at least one person decides the risk of being truly seen is worth more than the safety of staying hidden. The hardest moment usually comes when one partner finally says out loud, "I feel lonely even when we're together." That sentence can feel like dropping a grenade in a quiet room. But very often, the other person doesn't explode. They soften. They say, "I had no idea. I thought you were okay." Because most people assume silence means contentment. They don't realize that silence can also mean resignation. Friendships follow a similar path in adulthood. The close friends from your 20s slowly become the group chat friends in your 40s. You still like each other's posts, you still say we should catch up soon. But the deep, late-night talks about fears and dreams have been replaced by surface-level memes and birthday reminders. It's not that the love disappeared, it's that life got fuller and no one made space to keep tending the emotional root. So the second layer of this loneliness is this. Even our closest relationships can become emotionally undernourished when vulnerability is consistently avoided, when presence is replaced by routine, and when both people silently agree to protect the peace instead of risking the depth. It creates a life that looks connected from every angle, but feels like parallel solitudes when you're inside it. And once that emotional starvation becomes the baseline inside our intimate circles, the wider world starts to feel even hollower, especially when social media enters the picture and promises connection while quietly delivering the opposite. That's what we'll explore next. Now let's step into the wider world, the one that exists mostly through screens. Because in the last 10 to 15 years, something new has entered the loneliness equation. The promise of constant connection that almost never delivers the depth it advertises. Social media, messaging apps, online communities, they all arrive with the same seductive message. You are never alone. And yet, for many people, the more time they spend in these digital spaces, the lonelier they feel. This is what researchers now call virtual loneliness or digital disconnection, the peculiar pain of being surrounded by people's lives, voices, updates, and opinions every waking hour, while still feeling profoundly unseen. Take Emily, 28 years old, works in marketing, lives in a vibrant city. Her phone is never silent. She has group chats with college friends, a close circle on Instagram stories, followers who comment heart eyes on every post, co-workers who tag her in memes. If you measured connection by notifications, she would win. But most nights she lies in bed scrolling until her eyes burn, and when she finally puts the phone down, the room feels emptier than before. She describes it like this: I know what everyone is doing, what they ate for lunch, where they went on vacation, but no one knows what's really happening inside me, and I don't even know how to tell them anymore. The psychology here is quite precise. Social media is built on a few core mechanisms that mimic closeness but starve real intimacy. First, it's mostly one-directional. You broadcast highlights, others react with likes or brief comments. There is almost no reciprocal vulnerability. Second, it's curated. Everyone shows their best angle, their wins, their filtered moments. Over time, you start comparing your full, messy reality to everyone else's highlight reel, and you lose. Third, it rewards volume over depth. The algorithm favors frequent, light, emotionally safe content. Deep, raw shares tend to get fewer interactions, so people learn, consciously or not, to keep things surface level. The result is a strange modern loneliness, hyper-connected on the outside, emotionally malnourished on the inside. And the data backs this up. Multiple large-scale studies from the American Psychological Association, from universities in the US and Europe, have found a consistent pattern. Heavier social media use correlates with higher reported loneliness, especially among people who already feel their offline relationships are shallow or strained. It's not that the platforms cause loneliness in everyone, it's that they amplify an existing vulnerability. When your real-life connections lack depth, the digital version becomes a cruel mirror, showing you how easy it is to be seen without being known. David's experience illustrates it perfectly. He's 42, divorced a few years ago, trying to rebuild. He rejoined Facebook groups from his old hometown, started following friends he hadn't spoken to in a decade. At first, it felt warm, nostalgic photos, inside jokes resurfacing, quick messages like, "Man, we need to catch up."
But when his father got seriously ill last year, he posted about it once, a simple update. The likes rolled in, a few thinking of you comments. Not one person called. Not one asked, "Do you want to talk?" He realized the connection he thought he had rebuilt was paper thin, warm enough for likes, too fragile for real support. That moment crystallized it for him. Digital proximity is not the same as emotional availability. If you've ever felt that pang after closing an app, that strange mix of overstimulation and emptiness, you're not imagining it. Your nervous system knows the difference between being witnessed and being reacted to, between someone seeing your story and someone seeing you. Social media also changes how we show up in real life. We get used to editing ourselves for maximum appeal. We rehearse responses in our heads before typing. We measure worth by engagement metrics. Over months and years, that habit leaks into face-to-face interactions. Conversations stay light because deep ones feel risky or too much. We become performers in our own relationships, even when no camera's rolling. and performers, no matter how applauded, rarely feel truly held. Another layer, comparison. You see friends buying houses, getting engaged, traveling, looking joyful, all while you're quietly struggling. Even if you know it's curated, the emotional impact is real. It plants a quiet belief. Everyone else has cracked the code. I'm the only one still feeling this way. That belief, isolation through comparison, is one of the most corrosive forces in modern loneliness. So, by now, we've seen 3 interlocking layers. How success teaches us to hide vulnerability, creating achievement isolation. How even close relationships can become emotionally undernourished through drift and routine. How digital spaces promise belonging, but often deliver polished distance and painful comparison. These 3 forces feed each other in a loop that's very hard to break alone. But the loop isn't unbreakable, because underneath all of it lies something more personal and more hopeful. The internal patterns, beliefs, and wounds that make us especially susceptible to this kind of loneliness, and the quiet ways we can begin to heal them. That's where we turn next.
We've looked at the external layers, the way success shapes us, the slow drift in close relationships, the hollow promise of digital connection. Now we turn inward, because beneath all of those forces lies the most personal and often the most hidden layer, the internal world that makes some people especially vulnerable to feeling lonely, even when everything around them appears full. This is inner loneliness. The sense that no matter who is present, something essential inside you remains untouched, unseen, or perhaps even unwelcome. It's not always caused by what's happening now. Very often it was planted long ago. Rachel is a good example. She's 38, has a stable job she enjoys, lives with a kind partner, has a small but steady circle of friends. Life looks balanced. Yet she describes a persistent feeling of being on the outside of every room she enters, even when she's the one who organized the gathering. When we talked about it, the root became clear. Growing up in a home where emotions were unpredictable, her father was quick to anger, her mother withdrew into silence when things got tense. Rachel learned early that showing strong feelings, fear, sadness, even excitement, could make things worse. So she became the easy child, calm, helpful, never too much. That survival strategy worked then, but it carried forward. Now, as an adult, whenever someone gets close enough to really see her, she instinctively pulls back. Not because she doesn't want closeness, she craves it, but because part of her still believes if they see the full me, they'll leave, or worse, get overwhelmed. That old belief operates quietly in the background, turning every potential moment of real connection into a moment of self-protection. This is what trauma-informed psychology calls attachment wounds, or relational templates. Early experiences teach us a basic map. This is what closeness looks like. This is what safety feels like. This is what happens when I show up fully. If that map says vulnerability equals danger, then even in safe, loving environments years later, the body and mind still react as if danger is near. The nervous system doesn't update easily. It keeps the old defenses online. And it's not just big traumas. Small, repeated messages can do the same thing. Being told as a child, big boys or girls don't cry. Being praised only for achievements, never for feelings. Having a parent who was emotionally unavailable, even if they were physically present. All of these etch the same quiet instruction: keep the real stuff inside. It's safer that way. The irony is cruel. The very armor that once protected us now isolates us. We become experts at appearing fine and terrible at receiving care, because receiving care requires admitting we need it, and admitting we need it feels like breaking an old unspoken rule.
Mark carried a different version of this. He was bullied quite badly in middle school, mocked for being quiet, for liking books instead of sports. The message he internalized: you're not likable as you are. You have to earn belonging by being impressive, funny, useful. He did exactly that.
He became successful, charming, the guy who always has the right thing to say. But underneath, he still believes the old story. If they knew how insecure I really feel, they'd see the fraud. So he keeps performing. He deflects compliments. He changes the subject when conversations turn personal. And year after year, that performance builds a wall no one, not even his closest people, can fully cross. Perfectionism often joins this inner dynamic. Many people who feel lonely despite having it all are quietly perfectionistic. They believe love and belonging are conditional, on being flawless, on never burdening others, on always having it together. So they chase flawlessness, and the more they achieve it on the outside, the more they feel unworthy on the inside. Because perfection isn't human. And deep down, we all know that only humans can truly connect with other humans. These internal patterns don't make someone damaged. They make someone human, someone who adapted the best way they knew how at the time. But adaptations that helped us survive childhood can become the very things that prevent us from thriving in adulthood. The good news, and it really is good news, is that these patterns are not fixed forever. They were learned, which means they can be unlearned, or at least softened. It usually starts with something small and brave, noticing the old belief without judging it. I'm pulling away again because part of me is scared they'll leave if I show this. Just naming it creates a tiny space between the impulse and the action. In that space, choice becomes possible. Therapy helps enormously here, especially approaches like attachment-based work, internal family systems, or somatic experiencing, because they address both the story in the mind and the sensations in the body. But even without formal therapy, small experiments matter. Sharing one slightly uncomfortable truth with someone safe, asking for help when you're used to giving it, letting a moment of silence linger instead of filling it with reassurance or humor. Each time you do that and nothing catastrophic happens, the old map gets redrawn a little. The nervous system gets new evidence. Showing up real doesn't always end in rejection. And slowly, very slowly, the inner loneliness begins to ease. Not because the world suddenly changes, but because you start allowing the world to meet more of who you actually are. We've now walked through all 4 layers: the external pressures of success, the drift in close relationships, the illusions of digital connection, and the internal wounds that amplify everything. What remains is the most important part: how to begin moving through it, how to reclaim real belonging when loneliness has become the default. That's where we go in the final part.